Alright, hello and welcome to Echoes of Color with Jefferey Morrison. How's it going? I'm going to do a whip and chat here with Paint with Diamonds, The Battle Ahead by Lothar Dietrich, square drill, 60 centimeters by 45 centimeters, slam a picture around here kind of thing. Alright, so how's it going? Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. So yeah, this section's just a bit of background and one of the larger dragon. So once you see the picture, it'll probably make sense. Kind of thing. Okay. 21 capital O. Alright. So yeah, we'll just like jump right back in here. Okay, where's my diamond painting pen? Okay. So, capital O. Hopefully your crafting and everything has gone well. I just worked Monday, Tuesday. I have today and tomorrow off. I'm back to work all weekend. Kind of thing on my full time. I'd not been getting shifts on my part time lately, so what's going on there? But oh well. Alright. I was kind of learning about fabric today because I think I mentioned that one of my mom's friend's sister was kind of hoarding kind of fabric and stuff. Kind of had like a hoarding type of mentality in the house that my mother's friend's sister lived in. So my mom's friend was cleaning out the house and my mom was helping. I was there at one point just getting fabric into bags to bring to our place to sort, and now there's a couple quilt guilds in town here that will take the fabric and utilize it, yeah, from this hoarding situation. Yeah, there's like tons of fabric here. There's fabric bolts, like full bolts of fabric, and it still had price tags on it, like not even touched kind of thing. It's a collection. But yeah, hoarding is kind of a mental illness, and that's kind of what it's displaying as. But yeah, the house is being cleaned up, and yeah. So yeah, that does not sound like a great thing to be contending with. Hoarding. I have tons of word search books, but yeah, not to the scope of this. That's kind of a hoarding mentality, having tons of word search books, but I stopped the subscriptions like a couple years ago, so I'm not still getting word search books. So yeah, it kind of like an example of hoarding, like just collecting something non-stop without a sense of control. I don't know if that's an accurate depiction of hoarding, but yeah, it's kind of scary in a way. But I'm just working through the word search books I have now. So yeah, finish one and then just start another one, doing the exercise bike stuff. I took a small pile to work, small stack. About all I can do. They're a few years old. Some of these are older issues of word search books, but nope, it's all good. Just work through them, slim down the collection, that kind of thing. But yeah, that can be a hard mental illness to get out of. Hoarding, you probably know that you're doing it, but like to a point it probably gets out of control, like out of the individual's control. Yeah, it's kind of what this is, but it's now managed. It's now kind of under control, taken care of. But yeah, it's a lot of fabric, like flannels and whole bunches of things, denims, textiles, flannels. Yeah, I think I said flannels. I don't know, different colors like reds, blues, Christmas themed, novelty patterns, repeating patterns, kind of thing. This is for like quilts or like cloth bags or whatever, you know, like that kind of material. So yeah, some of it's really terrible looking, like design wise, in my opinion anyway, but I don't know too much about fabrics. But there's just, this studio's just has tons of storage containers full of these assorted fabrics. There's some counted cross stitch patterns in here. Yeah, it's quite the event. Alright, I think that's all for O. Yeah, this red here. But yeah. Yeah, sorry if that hoarding topic is, might be tough for some people. But yeah, that's where all this fabrics come from. Pretty much, it's, yeah. I have a lot of books too, like a lot of novels, paperback books, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's a strain of that, but not. I'm not just going to the store every day and just buying endless piles of books. Not quite. It's a book every once in a while. Yeah, it's a little different, but yeah, kind of twinged. Oh, excuse me. In similarity, it kind of approaches that branch. An addiction, an impulse, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to discern, really. You feel like you don't have enough of something, maybe. Yeah, just, I don't know, just random thoughts. I'm not really an expert. I think capital S. And hopefully the 5-year anniversary sale from Diamond Art Club went well for most people, if that's where you buy from, if you buy diamond painting canvases from there. I saw a few of the previewed releases, and yeah, some really cool looking canvases, but yeah. 44S, capital S. Yep, that's 44. Alright. What a selection by the looks of it. Is there 50 designs in total that were on sale for that? Or released for that? I think it was 50. Just, wow. Quite a scope of material too. Quite a scope of art. Designs. Yeah, pretty cool. Alright, so this S is kind of here and there. Almost done the Rohan Conqueror Return of the King challenge, like the first in the bundle of 3 challenges. I have 15 more kilometers to go to finish off Rohan, the first one. Basically what Aragorn's journey to save Middle-earth, like his part of things. Yeah. So I was on the exercise bike earlier this afternoon, because my mom was still with a friend of hers dealing with the fabric out here. So yeah, I just went on the exercise bike, listened to music for a bit. So yeah, that's a good getaway for like an hour or so. Yeah, I was on for like more than an hour on the exercise bike. I'm almost done the first Game of Thrones book. Yeah, some stuff looks like it's going to be a cliffhanger type stuff. So this is like my 3rd or 4th time trying to get through Game of Thrones. Like, I've read the first few chapters, but this time around I'm like nearly at the end of the book. The first book, that is. Yeah, there's just a bit going on. I can't fully discern like who's who. Like Lannisters. Yeah, each chapter is like a character's name. I can't fully understand what's going on completely, but it flows nicely. So I just kind of go with the flow kind of thing. It's kind of like if you haven't read Marvel or DC comics, but go see like Iron Man or something, for example, like a superhero movie. You don't necessarily know what's entails in the entire universe if you don't have any context, like haven't read a comic book or anything. It's kind of like that for me with Game of Thrones. I have a general idea of who some of the characters are, like Tyrion Lannister, he's the dwarf. Yeah, Jon Snow, he sticks out. Yeah, the more prominent characters I kind of gravitate towards. Kind of enjoy those chapters a bit more. But overall, you get a good cross-section of what's happening in Westeros. There we go. Yeah, Westeros. Yeah, I think there is a map of Westeros in one of these Game of Thrones novels, I think. Yeah, it's kind of nice to just get something out of an idea of where everybody is and what's going on. I probably will never understand completely, but yeah. I hope the series gets like tied up for people who have been waiting for George R.R. Martin, I think. I didn't know his name before. It was slipping from my mind. But yeah, the writer of Game of Thrones, like Song of Ice and Fire, like that series. Basically the hit HBO show from the books. Well, based on the books. I don't think it's exactly like the books per se, but yeah. Yeah, if you're not really a big fan of that medieval stuff, that's basically what it is, but fantasy, epic fantasy. Yeah, I think I've talked about epic fantasy and like genres of fiction that I like to read. Yeah, probably not for everybody. Yeah, it's mature situations, and yeah, the factions are fighting each other, and it's described non-subtly. It's pretty blunt. Well, war is war. I don't think in a history book it's kind of explained like what factions were attacking who, when and where kind of thing, but yeah, in kind of Game of Thrones, it's just thrown a bit further, like you're thrown on the battlefield, and you're reading that somebody's head got cut off, like etc. Yeah, sorry, that's the level of grotesque in these epic fantasy, but to be realistic, it is war, swords, armor, spears, etc. Probably eventually dragons, like, I don't know, Daenerys, she has dragon eggs. I'm pretty sure dragons just appear later in the series, later books. Like, why else would there be dragon eggs that mentioned ever so subtly? Daenerys takes care of them. They were like a gift or something, a wedding gift or something. And I guess they hatch eventually. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this, but I believe dragons play a role later. Yeah, sorry if I kind of spoiled that. But yeah, if you read somewhat through Game of Thrones or even seen the show, then I'm pretty sure it's prodded after a couple seasons about the dragon eggs or something. Like, plot points are probably shoved a little bit more briskly than that of the books. Like, you could go through chapters and two characters could just be talking for like the whole chapter kind of thing. Yeah, in literature, stuff can move slower, situations broken down, described. While in a TV show, you only have like 45, 50 minutes in like the span of an hour on TV to kind of get a major event across or build up in an episode some plot points to keep the momentum, of the show going. Yeah, so printed media and visual media are very distinctly different and are encountered in different ways. Yeah, visual media, like definitely you, instead of using words to describe, well, you're using the source material to bring the written material to life on the screen to a certain extent, but yeah, you can't possibly cover everything, every single detail in visual media. To an extent, unless it's like dialogue or something. Like, an episode would have to be like 2 or 3 hours to really discern or extract the full essence of the original written material in one of these epic fantasy kind of series, in my opinion. But yeah. Okay, number 1. Just a few different colors for once. TUL 12 is that number 1? Yes. Okay. But yeah, there are other like genres of books that are, of course, television series. Yeah, but I'm just using Game of Thrones as an example. However, epic fantasy is dredged full of descriptions, and you have to describe like a whole universe or world or continent and dozens upon dozens of characters. Like even Harry Potter, for example. Like, yeah, kind of same mentality of Game of Thrones. Like, it's Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and you could say that's comparable to Westeros to an extent as kind of comparison, but yeah, wildly varied, of course. Don't get me wrong, of course. Westeros is, yeah, really not, yeah, as kid-friendly as Harry Potter is, but Harry Potter does eventually get darker, but not as right in your, slapped right in the face as Westeros. That universe is brutal, but yeah. Anyway, Hogwarts, Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. And then there are different that I can't even name some of the kingdoms or factions in Westeros. I can't even think of that right now. But yeah, different factions, and it's kind of like Harry Potter, but yeah, Game of Thrones has, yeah, conflicts between, yeah, factions, which is just, yeah, if you're doing a continent type deal, like, this is like a whole physical world, like in a book, yeah, that people aren't going to get along. Like, yeah. That's probably a preset given if you're picking up a fantasy book, that people are not going to get along, or factions are not going to get along. It's always going to be some sort of conflict just in there. Now, of course, there's conflict between, or competition between, the Hogwarts houses and Harry Potter. Similar conflict, but not like full out war against each other. Like in Harry Potter, they're the houses, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, etc., etc., Slytherin, yeah. They're in competition with each other to get, like, house points or whatever, but they're against Voldemort or Harry Potter. Eventually, like, the whole Hogwarts is against Voldemort or battling him and his lackeys or whatever. Dark ones, I don't know how you want to describe it. That's a little different than various warring factions in Game of Thrones. So, similar yet different kind of concepts. But, yeah. Is that really a poor comparison in a way, though? Basically a youth-oriented kind of story. Young adult, like Harry Potter. Well, Harry Potter's, like, really for everybody, to be blunt. But a certain age group, like tweens maybe. But I think that's YA romance, or Twilight kind of thing is more YA. Down younger adult. At first, yeah, Harry Potter, younger children, 10 or so, preteen. Game of Thrones, it's instantly adult. Extremely mature content kind of thing. So, yeah, a vast difference between the two universes. Maybe that was a poor comparison between the two, but way different factors and scope within fantasy is, I think, is what I'm really trying to get forward here. Really trying to describe. Epic fantasy is extreme detail, and something like Harry Potter is fantasy, kind of like Disney's Sword in the Stone too, like that kind of level of fantasy. Just, I don't want to say simple plotline. If you kind of break Game of Thrones down, it's basically everybody's fighting to claim the unclaimed throne of swords or whatever. But yeah, there's just so much history and culture in Game of Thrones that it's, yeah, there's just way more going on and way more you can discern from that universe than that of Harry Potter. But not to slam down Harry Potter by any means, but it is kind of a simplified universe, but it's way more character driven. It's my belief. Does that sound accurate? Harry Potter's more character focus oriented. Game of Thrones is told through character viewpoint, but it's the conflict that is driving these characters to act in the way that they do. So scope, fantasy has different scope, depth, and variation than that of any other type of fiction. Mystery, you leave details out. Romance, it's a developing relationship between a couple people and the people around them, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's fantasy and science fiction. Science fiction's just a whole lot more like epic fantasy, but science with a science angle, suspension of disbelief kind of thing for technology, etc. That's totally larger dynamic compared to that if you were to compare Harry Potter to The Expanse or Star Trek or Star Wars. There's obviously way more scope between the two, obviously. But anyway, you've been watching Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. I had the weirdest conversations, and then other times I'm just totally quiet. Yeah, I balanced it out. Yeah, you've been watching Echoes of Color with Jeffery Morrison. Down below in the description, I put my Facebook profile name, my Echoes of Color Facebook business page. It's really just a website within Facebook. And my Instagram. All three I just try to update simultaneously. If I were to finish this section, take a photo, explain what the canvas is, the company, the diamond painting company, etc. Basically what the section entails, and move on to the next section. Yeah, just all three of those. Give a brief update every once in a while. It's not constant. Information's there if you want it. In the description, that it's almost in every video I do, if not the vast majority of them. And I'll also post my fitness conqueror and pacer, just information purposes only, walking challenges or fitness challenges that I'm working on currently. The main websites, I won't get a commission or anything. I'm not sponsored, it's just there for information. But anyway, take care, all the best, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.